All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Webinar Wednesdays. I'm back for another session. Profit from posts. 7 strategies to earn money consistently through social media. Now, last week I had a conversation about how to really start building an email list and start generating income through creating your own email list through the form of a newsletter. Now I'm back based on the feedback from that session. People say, like, look, that's great and all, but social media is still a dominant form of engagement with people. How do we leverage social media? So today is all about the strategy you need to really leverage social media and really up your game in the digital space. All right. So today in this session, I'm going to reveal insider strategies and tactics that will help you really leverage social media effectively to not only build on your digital business, build on your digital brand, but also be able to create consistent earnings and really earn a financial income and really change how you really move when it comes to your lifestyle in the digital space. So let's get started because it's going to be a really content rich conversation. Now, my name is Christine, and Tim, is this your first time engaging with me? I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a personal brand influencer and a tech ecosystem builder. I've been building and scaling businesses for over a decade. And one thing I will tell you is along the sidelines of building my business, I was very clear and intentional about building my personal brand. And obviously, along the way, the best medium of monetizing and building my personal brand was through the digital space. So, a lot of the content I teach is really helping other female entrepreneurs specifically build on that growth, build their businesses, and build their journey in a way that's effective, exciting, but also really lucrative over the span of your career. So, hopefully, you find this session useful. I know I'm excited for you. So hopefully you tuned in for the right content that you need in terms of solutions for your current problems right now in the digital space. All right. And if you have more questions about how to join me on my personal brand accelerator program, feel free to check out my website at christineandtim.com. Okay. So diving right into the conversation we're going to talk about is pretty much really down to basics, how to make money with social media. Tons of people are doing it. And I think we're obviously overwhelmed with social media in many regards, but people have formulas, systems, and strategies to really look at social media effectively and objectively and really leverage it as a tool for churning out income opportunities in addition to visibility. So today we're going to talk about that. Okay. So for those of you who are, depending on your background, digital creators, entrepreneurs, corporate professionals, whatever your background is, in some shape or form, you are using social media for sure. Now, if you don't have a social media profile, it's very clear and apparent that it kind of gets really suspect. Like you really can't just intentionally opt out of social media. Now, I'm not saying you have to be on every social media platform, but you do have to be in some shape or form, have a digital persona in the digital space. It really helps you participate not only in today's society, but also in today's economy, if you get what I'm saying, right? And so one thing I want to make sure that we are clear on, just to make sure that you're here for the right reasons. One, I want to make sure that if you want to monetize your social media presence, right, there are 3 goals that I need you to really fundamentally understand for today's session. Okay. One, you're going to learn the 3 fundamental goals of social media. Okay, especially within this digital economy that we've created as a society, you need to truly understand the fundamental goals of social media in order for you to really leverage social media. Okay. Second, we're going to talk about how you should build the right audience on social media. So that way you're not just building an audience of family and friends, but also the audience that you want to convert into customers, consumers, stakeholders, partners along your journey as an entrepreneur, wherever that journey may take you. Okay. And third, you want to learn how to sell products with ease, leveraging social media. You don't want to have to struggle with doing ad campaigns, marketing campaigns, promo campaigns, selling in a sleazy way. You don't want to really struggle to get the right copy and editing and tools. I mean, you just don't want to be overwhelmed. You want it to be able to have a consistent system, formula, and just really a structure that is not only predictable, but makes sense with your schedule, makes sense with your lifestyle, and also makes sense with your persona. Because people sell differently and people engage differently. And you want to make sure that you're comfortable with how you're monetizing in the digital space. Because I know a lot of people, because we're so skeptical right now in the digital economy, it's very hard for people to feel comfortable entering that space if you're new to this, right? So we'll talk about how to really sell products with ease using social media in a way that you feel most comfortable. Okay. So, with that said, if you've been in any of my previous webinars, you know that I'm very clear and direct regarding, just the multitude of trends that we are experiencing right now in our generation when it comes to technology, industry disruptions, the cultural shift that we're experiencing. I mean, things that really took over a century for society to experience and evolve and understand, we're not even experiencing just 10 years. We're experiencing it within weeks, within months. I mean, we're moving at a very, very fast pace. I mean, I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, like, look, like, like now January comes and I'm already like, like 3/3 through the year, right? It's very, very hard right now to really keep up with the pace of reality, right? And that collision, it's obviously has given a lot of opportunities for you to monetize, get into new career prospects, get into new life prospects, and create new memories, right? There's so many doors that open to you, but because there's so many doors, you are overstimulated, you are fatigued, you are tired, you are overwhelmed. And this is the space where this culture collision of so much that's happening is causing people to kind of cocoon right now, right? And so people only come up and put their head above the water to find people who are figured out the right systems to navigate in today's societies, learn from them, follow them, be inspired by them, and engage them to learn how to create their own systems so that they in turn can leverage those systems, build their own, I would say, economic blueprint, and then hopefully find success in that, and then also be that pillar for other people. And it becomes a domino effect. As we grow and find success, the automatic thing that we do as human beings is like we share through our stories, we teach through our stories. So once we find a success factor, we share that with others, right? And today's culture is all built around that. So just want to make sure that you have the kind of spatial context of what we're living in and why this conversation is relevant right now, right? Because at the crux of it, social media is at the core center of a lot of people's lives. It's not the core of my life. It's a major part, but it's not the core for me. But for a lot of people, without social media, they're not able to not so much function, but really build sustainable businesses. I know there are times I said, like, look, I just want to click the unplug button and get out of social media, because social media can also be very, very toxic. So with that said, we're navigating so many uncharted waters here. What is the actual goal of social media then? Like, what is the point, right? And usually when I ask this question, I find that people's responses is very scatterbrained, right? So some people have a lot of vanity goals. Like, I just want to grow my follower account. If I have millions of followers, I'll be able to sell to that group and monetize. Let me tell you, the majority of influencers on Instagram, LinkedIn, all these major platforms who have millions of followers, either they bought some of them, and for those who actually like really grew that follower count, a lot of them, they will tell you they have not been able to monetize and convert that audience, because a lot of those followers, they created them and engaged them because you brought them in with the mindset of just having a vanity goal of having a number count. That's all they are to you, just, pretty much eyeballs, but they're not converting. So having a vanity goal of saying, like, I just want to grow my follower base, that's my goal with social media, it's not only very vague, it's not only very vanity centric, but it's going to set you up for failure. Okay. So that's one. Another goal I see a lot of people say, like, look, I'm doing it for visibility. I know that I can't tap out of social media, so I need to make sure that I have some type of presence. No, you cannot be a slave to social media either. You can't say that you're just going to be on social media because you have to be on social media. That is just a recipe for just anger management issues down the road, because you're engaging with a platform that is frustrating you because you feel like you have to be there. It's like being invited to a party that you don't want to go to and you show up because you have to. So you're at the party pissed off, not only with everyone, but with yourself, because you actually took your feet, walked out the door, and actually participated at that party. Don't do that. Okay. So I'm just want to make sure, for those of you who are saying I'm doing it because it's for visibility purposes, no, don't do that. Have real goals, because that one is not it. And another one that I see a lot of people do, and this is really why this is really a narcissistic generation. A lot of people use it as kind of like their highlight reel problem. I want to show perfect picture moments. My life is great. I'm living my best life, and yet they're broken on the couch the next day, right? So for those of you who are just have those ego goals where you want to prove a point on social media and be like, look, my life is good, and behind the scenes, your life is like a wrecking ball. Again, you are building your audience for the wrong reasons, because now we're talking about making money on this, webinar. Now you're losing money trying to like keep up with the Joneses. And now Joneses used to be just our next door neighbor, or at least our community. Now we're keeping up with the Joneses in Dubai and places outside of our purview. Just stop it. Okay, let's keep it real. Let's stop doing the fun games. It's great to highlight the high moments of your life because that's inspirational, right? It's great to have great milestones in your life that you showcase for the world. And I think that's really great to do because it's an accomplishment. But let's show reality. Don't do for egotistical reasons. And the last one is my business entrepreneurs to say, like, look, we gotta, give people updates. We gotta show people that we just launched a product. We just did this. We went to this rodeo. We did this, that, and the third. You're just boring the hell out of people because your fake quotes and updates are just, they're not doing it for the people right now. Okay. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs and just like posting at random because you feel like people just need updates, look, if I want updates, I'll come to your website and I'll get the bulletin board review just from your website homepage. I could do that optionally by myself. I don't need to be seeing you come in my newsfeed with updates that I don't really care about. Right. So with that said, these are the multiple responses that people usually give when it comes to the question, what is the goal of social media? And what that tells you is they're all very vastly different. But what that shows you is that people don't know what the actual fundamental goal of social media. And I will preface by saying that the original platform of social media originally started with us being able to keep up with family and friends, right? Because we know that, from a primal instinct, we are able to keep up with less than 150 people at a time in terms of our tribe. That includes family, extended family, friendships in terms of your school, your community, from your church, where you go to grocery. Like, we as a society, primarily speaking, we can engage with up to 150 people organically over time. Social media was a great tool for us to go beyond that and really extend our reach and conversations with people that we've forgotten from primary school, secondary school, from this ecosystem, and also be able to build new audiences in places that we've never been to, right? So it's a really great way to expand our reach, expand our circle, so to say, but also nurture the ones that we've built over time. Something happened over the past couple of years where, as more people started to do that for that purpose, we start again going through this, reel of really just showcasing our lifestyle and now building businesses on social media. So now we've got to the point where it's beyond that, right? And so you need to make sure that, realistically speaking, if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to build a business with social media, your goals is a little bit different than your personal ones of just engaging with your family and friends. Okay. And let me explain what that looks like. If you don't have clear goals for social media, this is what you're going to end up doing. You're not going to have clear action items. You're going to continue to post random items like quotes and articles and photos and random advice that no one asks you for. And you just look scatterbrained. And you're going to get frustrated because you're not engaging with other people. You're not talking to other people. And you're going to continue this existing, like just kind of like just exhausting yourself, where I'm doing the thing. Like, I'm posting every day. I'm posting, the right things, but there's no result. Like, people might be engaging one or two, but you're not really converting. And you get to the point where now you're just doing, like, it's just almost like slavery. You're just doing the run of the mill process, but you're not really yielding anything from that work, right? And what happens is you get frustrated, you get depleted, you get discouraged, you might even enter burnout phases, and then you go radio silent, and then you have a burst of energy, you come back up again, you do the same thing, then you go radio silent because you burn out again, and you keep repeating the cycle over and over. I know this because I've been through this before, where I was using social media incorrectly as an entrepreneur. So I'm speaking from experience, and I know when other people are doing the same thing. I could see it visually, right? So here's where you need to be. If you find yourself that you're overwhelmed right now and you're trying to understand not only how to just engage in social media, but also monetize the social media, and you feel overwhelmed, you're not alone. A lot of people have not figured this out. Okay. And today we're going to figure this out. So with that said, what is the actual goal of social media? The actual goal of social media is three basic things. You are either leveraging social media for lead generation, right? Prospecting new potential clients that might buy your product or service. Lead nurturing, so you already have these people in your ecosystem that care about you. They're your stakeholders, they're your clients, but you want to manage them. You want to like really nurture them, give them exposure to your updates, your lifestyle, this and third. Or third, you're just going for the juggler. You're making the sale, lead conversion. You're trying to get that lead to really convert and make a sale. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the three fundamental reasons why you should be leveraging social media. If your goal is to monetize, then your goal should be to do these three things. If ultimately, again, you're trying to make money via social media, these are the three action items you should always be doing with each one of your posts. Don't forget lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. Let me explain this in a little bit more detail. Once you fundamentally, and let me tell you, this shift might take a couple of you to really understand and really figure this out. But once you truly understand what I'm saying, your entire social media strategy and approach will change forever, and you're not going to go back, okay? Because you need to stop doing social media marketing and start executing on a marketing strategy on social media. Let me run that back because you probably missed it the first time. Stop doing social media marketing. Stop just marketing for the sake of social media. You need to have a marketing strategy, and you're executing that marketing strategy with social media. Once you know the difference between these two activations, you start to see social media as a platform and not an activity. Because a lot of you are using social media as an activity where you're doing the posts, you're doing the engagements, you're doing this, but you're not actually using it as a platform to actually market something to your audience. Does that make sense? And I'm going to explain this into further detail so you can sink in a little bit more for you to understand, because this is a radical mindset that you need to have as an entrepreneur to be able to effectively use social media properly. And you will start to see a shift of not only your audience pool, but also where you'll start to be able to generate income. Okay. So once you have that mind shift and you understand the goals, the right goals of social media, then you're going to ask yourself, okay, now how do I actually build the right audience on social media? Now, let's dive into that. Remember, I originally said that there's three options that you're trying to execute on social media, okay? Lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. Let me walk you through each one so you can understand what I'm saying when it comes to this, okay? First and foremost, before you can even execute on any of those three goals, you need to have like your why purpose, right? Like you need to have a home strategy as to who you're targeting, so that way every time you try to execute on those three aspiration goals on social media, which is lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion, you know whom you're talking to. So what this translates to is you need to create your value statement. In today's space, if you're going to monetize in the digital space, you need to have a value statement, which means you need to know who you're targeting and what you're providing to them. So for example, that statement is very simple. It's like, I help X to do X. So for me, for example, I help women to leverage their experiences to monetize online, or I help women monetize their experiences online. And I could give the details of that through public speaking, through digital courses, through digital businesses, right? And I could keep going down the road of doing that. So I help women monetize the experiences online through public speaking, through digital courses, through digital businesses, and I engage them through webinars, programs, events, workshops, right? And I could keep drilling down and give you an entire spiel of how I do that through my activities, my daily activities, my campaigns, my monthly activity, because I know who my target audience are. Women. I know what they do. They're entrepreneurs or corporate professionals. I know what they want. They want to monetize and create new streams of incomes. How do they want to do it? They want to be public speakers. They want to create digital content. They want to launch courses. They want to launch digital businesses. And I help them move through that process, move through that experience, because I've done it before. So I'm helping them through my experience. This is where my experience becomes pretty much the authority metric for them to be able to execute on that. So once you have that value statement, you know now what to post on social media. Okay. So with that said, I do this again all the time. This is my banner on my website where I tell people I help women succeed in the digital space. Through my entrepreneurial journey, I provide strategy, insight, and perspective on how to lead a successful career in a digital first world. Connect with me today. Right. So right there, front and center, I just told you this is what I do. It's on my website. It's on my LinkedIn. It's on my social media feeds. Like if you want to engage in this journey and you need help, I'm the person to engage with. Right. So let's break that down. First things first, you got to do lead generation, right? You need to find the right audience who really needs that service, right? So when it comes to lead generation, to do that is that you got to give something for free for people to want to engage you. And how we do that is you're either entertaining people or you're educating people, right? If you're funny, if you're charismatic, you can entertain. And through that entertainment, you're giving people value, but they're getting something in return. Or you can educate them, which is the pillar that I use. I educate through webinars and talks and Q&A sessions, and that will attract people, right? And I use visibility tactics like hashtags. I share on different groups. I comment on certain pages to give visibility to the things that I'm doing. So when I'm having a webinar, I do all these things so people can see the webinar posting. And I offer a free session through a webinar like this one where people can learn tips and strategies. I probably share great articles, right? These are my value offerings that I do. People have different value offerings that they can provide. There's 100 different ways to provide value in today's economy. But for me, it's webinars. And by doing this, like, as I'm using social media to attract people and hosting these webinars, I do have, like, let's say a PDF guide or a download guide, somewhere where people could be able to give me the email, like a lead magnet for me to convert them. And now they're in my audience to continuously engage and support along their entrepreneurial journey in the digital space, right? So that is literally every time I post on social media, I'm doing this with this in mind. Where lead generation, I'm trying to find new audiences. So clearly, anyone who's never engaged with me and is trying to figure out how to leverage social media, they'll watch this right now on social media as I am live or post a recording, and they're like, okay, I want to hear more. Let me engage with her offline, and then they move forward through my ecosystem to be able to access more information. Okay. Now, another goal you could be having is actually lead nurturing. So once someone is a follower, is a client, right? They also need content too to keep them going, right? And this is where you got to be consistent. You got to connect and create credibility. And so this is where I'm sharing like photos and videos behind the scenes. So I share photos of me just completing a session, right? Me preparing for a session, me getting my way to work, the day in the life. So people know, like, okay, I learned this from you, but how do you actually do it? So they're seeing that entire journey. I'm offering lessons along the way, being very vulnerable about, the hard lessons and the good lessons. And I'm not trying to take anything in return in that regard. Like, I'm not trying to ask for anything for that journey. I'm just sharing that journey organically and honestly with that person. Right. So that is literally my process in doing that. Okay. And then the last thing is, like, look, if the right audience is following you and they immediately need that solution, then you could convert to sales. And this is where you're offering products and services that are packaged for people to be able to consume immediately. So the visibility I do for that personally is that I do flyers, campaigns. I tell people, like, okay, the cart is open for you to register today and then close in 3 days, in 24 hours, right? I like my offering is like, yo, my system is a plug and play model. You apply the system, you're able to move forward. So I give you a template, spreadsheets, video demos, exclusive offerings, time limiting opportunities, right? So I do this, and I have a sales conversion page to be able to get people to say, like, look, I want to get into this, I want to buy it, and they go through the process. This is where you probably heard terminologies like copy and funnel hacking. This is where it comes from, right? So these are the three things. So with that said, once you're able to move through and get into lead generation, get into lead nurturing, get into optimizing people through all these different journeys, now you're at the point where, okay, how do I now sell products with ease? And this is something that earlier I talked to you about the transformational shift that we're experiencing right now as a society. And I say this on a repeated basis. I feel like I'm a broken record right now. But I have recognized the fact that, look, like we live obviously in an internet economy, right? Where the internet is now your platform to sell information that you could package, right? And the best, people who are informed and have a really great experience and really learn from that experience, they become influencers, which is the influencer economy, right? Where your unique story, journey, and purpose is able to become a practical system and guide to others, right? So this is the digital era that we're experiencing. With that said, people need to understand that, look, society has shifted. Theory doesn't work right now. You need raw, authentic advice to really move ahead. And if you are able to provide that really great, authentic experience and information, people are able to capitalize on that and build on that. And what are you selling? You're selling, especially digital products, which is your journey, your experience, and the right perspective. Because if you figure something out, best believe someone else is trying to figure that journey out as well. I'm not saying that you figure out your whole life journey, but there's something in your life that you figured out better than other people, that you're good at, that other people could capitalize on as well. So for me, I've clearly been a public speaker and continue to public speak. And going beyond that, now I'm able to monetize my public speaking from the comfort of my home. That entire journey of building my public speaker profile, being on the public speaker circuit to the point where now I could pick and choose how I want to engage in the public speaker circuit around the world. It's truly a blessing that people have seen that journey over time. And now people want in. People want to figure out, Christine, how can I replicate that journey? And I'm able to package that experience and share that with people and sell that. Right. And so that's a cycle that you do on social media where you're generating leads, you're prospecting people, you're nurturing them through your journey, showcasing your life and the day in life behind the scenes. And then you're generating sales because now people believe you, they trust you, they see that you are what you say you are, and they're able to purchase your systems, your processes, and really grow with you. And you're giving them shortcuts. I always tell people, like, don't buy my systems, buy my shortcuts, because what you're going to learn through trials and tribulations over the course of several years, my goal is that my content and my journey give you shortcuts to learn that within a window of days, as opposed to a mother of months and years, right? That's the ultimate goal of my content as someone who's leveraging social media to really find the right people to engage. So how that looks like visually, I told you my lead generation prospecting tool right now is hosting webinars. I host webinars every single week called my webinar Wednesdays. So one of my webinars, for example, is how to get public speaking opportunities. I did a lead magnet, which is like a PDF guide that people could download to really help build their personal brand and their public speaker profiles. Behind the scenes, I share with people scenes of me speaking on multiple occasions around the world. This is me speaking during the United Nations General Assembly week in New York City. So people are seeing me in action, but they're also seeing a different side of me farming and starting a farm. I just came off from maternity leave, having a baby, building my life. So this is like the background, my nurturing, right? My lead nurturing. People are seeing me in my truest sense, where I'm not behind like a picture flyer, but just really just seeing me in the low. And then as people are seeing me live my life, seeing these, me teach, real valuable information through my webinars and through my content, people are like, look, like, I just want to learn from you all the shortcuts. Sign me up. What programs do you have? And I say I have my public speaker booking accelerator program, and people sign up. That is it. And I do that through a constant loop cycle where every time I have new updates and information, I'm able to share that with my audience. Right? So that is literally my process in that sequence of lead generation through prospects, through webinars, lead nurturing through my updates and behind the scenes of me experiencing this lifestyle as an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur on the go, as a mother, as a public speaker and an influencer, and converting sales by monetizing that journey. Keep in mind, I'm also having my businesses, right? But I'm also monetizing my expertise along the way of managing those businesses, right? Creating multiple streams of income, but also multiple streams of authority where people say and see that I practice what I preach. Okay. So that is it. And so where you get really good over time is you start to combine your social media marketing strategy with your email marketing strategy. If you want more information about my email marketing, how to build your first email list and really start generating sales through email marketing, sign up on the link below. It's a really great webinar on that. But with that said, when you start to combine your social media marketing efforts with your email marketing efforts, that's when you really start to grow your audience and really monetize at a 10x level. Right. And really, email marketing is really down to a science. It's a numbers game. If you are able to grow your email list to 1,000 people and you have a product that sells at $500, even if 2%, the industry average, by the way, is between 1% and 3%, even if 2% of your buyers, which is 20 people, buy that product, right? At that point, you're generating $10,000 in sales. And if you're doing this on a monthly basis, you can imagine what your experience will look like. Now, even if you had 100 people on your list, 100 curated people that really want your product, and they each buy your product at $500, which is two buyers, if you're using the 2% ratio, that's 1,000 extra bucks that you didn't have before, all by monetizing your experience and your thought leadership, right? So the email income format is really, really powerful. So going back to this prospect of doing the lead generation on social media, doing the lead nurturing and lead conversion, those three things are very, very important to really optimize your social media performance. So with that said, I want to now come to a conclusion where I share with you, these are 10 things I wish I knew before executing on those three goals. Because once you understand these 10 things, when you start going to work on lead generation, lead nurturing, and again, lead conversion, you start to do things very, very differently, and you start to really scale and build. So the first thing that I realized that's really important that you are aware of, that you really optimize your profile. Turn your profile into the ultimate landing page, because your profile is free. Any social media profile you have, your LinkedIn page, your Instagram page, your Twitter page, your YouTube page, it is free, right? So make sure to put your value statement out front and center in your title, in your hashtags, and pin a call to action offer at the top. So across all my social media profiles, I have my value statement stated, and I also have the right title and hashtag. So if anyone's looking for their terminologies, they can find me, and I immediately have a call to action. Sign up for my newsletter, or if I'm doing a promotion on a free webinar series or a masterclass session, it's the one that's on my pinned profile at the top for that month. Either way, my social media pages, the call to action is very, very clear. So now my social media pages are free billboards for me to access people on the internet. Second, daily engagement at the same time during peak engagement hours. Look at your data, see when people are most engaged with your content, and do that on a consistent basis, because you think people are not following, but people know when you're being sporadic with your content. Do it on a regular basis. Third, remember the golden window for really getting wider organic reach. Organic reach with social media still works. If you post something and you get a small set of people react to that post within that 5 to 10 minute window, social media will open up to more people, and they also engage, and it starts to spread. So you need to make sure that you get the first window of opportunity of engagement, so that way your thing could grow organically. Always remember the golden window. Fourth, always have a content salad. Don't just post the same things over and over and over. I see a lot of people, all they do is, like, let's say a rundown of just quotes. Unless your page is all about quotes, do a content salad, a mix of different things. Quotes, articles, videos, photos. Give people a variety of you, because you're not a single-minded person, right? Fifth, engage with your audience and competitors' audience. Always respond to people's, engagement with you, but also look at your competitors and engage with their audiences, because they're the same audience that you want to come into your profile. When I started doing that, I started growing my social media following a lot organically and a lot faster, because I realized their audiences are the ones that I want to speak to. So it worked really, really well. Number 6, always bulk batch and schedule consistent content. I never try to do content on a daily basis. You will burn yourself out if you try to create content on a daily basis. It's gonna really put a huge burden on you, especially if you don't see the results. Batch your content and schedule out. So I do quarterly batches, I do monthly batches, and I schedule it out. So that way, when I have an organic moment where, let's say I'm in the moment where I'm at a restaurant, I'm doing something with my kids, I'm able to post organically, but the content that I know is really driving my community forward is already going to be pushed out there and is relevant. With that said, always have campaign cycles. I can't stress this enough. I see people sporadically actually just post something that they're selling out of nowhere, and just like, it's such a shock to the ecosystem, and they wonder why they get crickets as a response. You got to build people to that momentum. So I would never just post like, hey guys, here's what I'm selling. I will have a minimum of 7 days leading up to that, opportunity for someone to buy from me on social media. So people are gearing up for that. And then when the opportunity window is open to buy, they're able to buy. And number eight, with that said, always remember the 70-30 rule. Don't always sell. If you're only promoting things that you're selling, people get annoyed. Do the 70-30 rule. 70% of the time you're posting to give value and updates and engage people. And 30% of the time you're selling, like your courses, your content, your speaking engagements, so on and so forth. Number nine, this is a really important one. And a lot of people don't say this, but you're not supposed to really be everywhere on social media. You got to pick one major anchor social media platform, which is your go-to platform. So some people it's YouTube, for some people LinkedIn. For me, it's LinkedIn. Some people it's Instagram. Some people it's Facebook. That is your anchor or pillar social media page, and everything else is a redistribution plan. Okay, that way you focus on really dominating one key place and redistribute other ways. Now, I will say I do have a backup. My primary is LinkedIn, and my second right now is Instagram. But it's just important for you to understand that so you can see how to organically grow your page. And last but not least, have your KPIs in check. Don't focus on vanity goals. Always have a way of tracking your goals. And if you see here, this is a screenshot of my content calendar schedule. You can see the diversity content mix that I have. And when I'm done posting, I gray it out so I know that it's already done. By color code, what time of the day are we going to do a blog post, a webinar, a session? So that way it's easy for people to track. So with that said, I want to conclude with, now that you're aware of this, here are the 7 strategies that will help you turn your social media into content cash flow. First and foremost, always, always, always create lead magnets for a flagship product offer. You have to have something that you're selling, a course, a consulting session, something of value. Have a lead magnet, something for free that you offer so people can convert into that. Another thing that you could do is do weekly webinars, and the call to action is your product offer. I do this. It's my favorite. That's why I bolded. It's my favorite way of not only engaging with my community, but also giving valuable content on a regular basis. 3, do social lives and Q&A sessions with the call to action is a product offer. I do this on a regular basis where I do Q&A sessions. I answer questions. People are fired up because I answer their questions literally organically live. And so people are able to say, okay, I want to get into your product. DM competitor clients to offer free offer, right? Where they can learn from you. And if they like what they learned, they will also convert into a product. Number 5, host a multi-day challenge. Call to action is your offering. Number 6, post a 30-day series. Like every day you're doing a series where you're providing something of value. The call to action is your offering. And last but not least, use social media copy of affiliate marketing pages to sell their product and do it on a content schedule. These are 7 different ways to do that. So hopefully you found this session really, really helpful. I know this is a lot of content, but social media can really be a really powerful tool to get you to not only to really engage with the right audiences, but also be able to monetize and really grow. So again, hopefully this was a hopefully great session for you. I know these webinar sessions can be really action packed, but it's my ability to really share what I've learned along the journey and hopefully let you be able to take that and move forward in your own way. If you want more concrete information that you could execute on with my social media platforms, templates, spreadsheets, and just more time to really dive right in, I can show you that through my social media content creator income bootcamp. In this session, I really teach people not only what I shared with you today, but I dive right in. Remember, I told you there's 3 things that you should be doing in social media: lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. In this bootcamp, I show you how to do each one with templates, spreadsheets, but also I help you create a content calendar for 30 days where that, and then that 30 days is going to convert and start generating income or your money back. So if you are interested in learning how to do that, sign up for my social media content bootcamp. The link is below for you to find out more information. I look forward to welcoming you on that session. So with that said, thank you again for joining me on another webinar session. I look forward to seeing you again, same time, same place next week. All the best. Have a great day. Thank you again, everyone.